Yeah, what's up? This disciple Marcello Currents Rain back in this. This is part two on gang stalking in America, pedophilia operations. This is part two of that. So we covered what the pedophilia operations are. They'll use people in your neighborhood, people in your building. They'll use these people will use anybody they can use. They'll use people at restaurants, McDonald's, all these places, trying to uh, get others to form an opinion that you're a pedophile. Why are they using this? Because in our society, or in the societies of most communities, well, but let's just stick to America. In this society, that's the only being a pedophile is the only thing that everybody looks down on. They don't look down on gangbangers killing kids. You got movies about that. They don't look down on serial killers. You got people that glorify that. You got horror movies that glorify dismembering people, dismembering children, dismembering animals and everything. This country, if you look at it, they glorify every walk of life. That it's surprising they don't glorify pedophiles. It's surprising they don't, because they have glorified people, serial killers that kill children. They got all kind of movies about it. All those horror movies from the 80s, Freddy Krueger, all that. Freddy Krueger was killing kids. Yeah, that's an outing. There has been outings when those movies come out for Americans. They consider that date night. Going to see Freddy Krueger kill children. You could say it's fictitious, but images have powerful effect. You know, anything we display in whether it's acting, even in acting, it has a powerful effect. You know, in the tangible world and the spiritual world, in people's minds. You know, how people portray, emulate them. They may emulate these people. And in the spiritual world, you have no idea what's going on when you create movies like that, killing kids and all that kind of thing. Yeah, this has been glorified. However, in America, you don't find people glorifying pedophilia. But it goes on. Because like I told you, 40 states allow children to have sex with adults. 40 states in America. We got 50 states. 40 states allow children to have sex. And yet they trying to put you in a pedophilia operation. They can't do it. It's hypocrisy. That's why all these things are going on. They're accusing God's people, playing with God's people. They make these commercials. That's how you know it's coming from the top. Because now it's in programming. It's in TV programming. If you watch the certain, if you just watch certain just TV period channels, you will notice a weirdness when it comes to children. And what you'll notice is they'll have a sexual commercial right beside a regular children commercial. So while men or women may have sexual desire or find someone attractive, they'll, right when you're feeling that feeling, they'll come and place a baby commercial right in front of that. See, you gotta be tight mentally. You gotta understand, because why wouldn't they think of that? Why wouldn't they think that could be weird or awkward for someone to be laying there thinking about how attractive this person look, and then a baby comes on next? How much effort would it be to have understanding of a higher understanding that is not hard to think about? This ain't thoughts of a genius. This is just understanding what is appropriate and non-appropriate, and learn how to separate them when you make commercials and everything. And so it makes one like me believe, who is very sharpened in the psychological field, that this is intentional. These are intentional triggers. You look on your timelines, you look on all the things in the internet, you can see triggers. Specifically with baby stuff, child stuff, all the stuff popping up in inappropriate places. If you can go to some sites and you will see baby images or child images in places it does not belong. Explain that. How much effort does it take for them to realize, okay, that doesn't belong in a place like this, because that's everyone's mind is somewhere else. So why would you put something like that where everybody's mind is somewhere else? It's like placing a baby in a bar. Why would you place a baby in a bar where you know everybody is getting drunk and smoking and soliciting people for sex? Okay, why would you do that? These are grown people in a grown setting, and here you are popping baby stuff everywhere. It's the same thing with the stuff that people are actually watching on TV. You be watching a fully grown man or woman movie, then they popping all this baby stuff. I'm telling you, man. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be to the extreme, but when you look at it, it's just abnormal. It's abnormal. It's not thoughtful. It doesn't even make sense according to what people are watching. It's like these people are not, most likely that's watching this movie is not family people. Those commercials don't cater to the right people. It doesn't cater to the right audience. So it's just awkward and weird. Which lets me know my hunches are true, is that this is a whole psychological onslaught using pedophilia entrapments in the social media, geographically. When you go outside, you go in restaurants, on the internet, it's everywhere. Because no one likes a pedophile. So if they can assassinate your character to the people, as far as being a pedophile, then no one's gonna like you. You could be a gangster, you could be black, you could be Hispanic or Latino, and people still like you. Although there's still a struggle. But if you're a pedophile, then they have successfully assassinated your character to the people. And you might be the very person that's supposed to help them. But yet they have tried to assassinate you to the people so that you can't help them and that you're not effective. Because no one would like that type of individual. So that's part of the mission as well, is to assassinate your character, go into communities, and this is what they do. They go into communities, they go into Walmarts, grocery stores, all these places, send information concerning you ahead and say this person is a known pedophile when you're not a known pedophile. You're not registered, you haven't done any sexual crimes. But they put that out there to the workers. This is how deep it gets. This is real. They put it to the workers, they put it to the managers at, let's say, a McDonald's. They've already prepped the whole store. It's depending on how high ranking you are. If you're a high ranking person, like a prominent speaker or preacher that everyone knows, they would definitely do this for the likes of you. If you are a musician that have the tendency to put God first, they will definitely do it for the likes of you. It's depending on your influence. It's depending on how powerful you are. They won't do it just, so don't get me wrong, they won't just do this for Sally that don't even come out the house and don't do nothing. Sally that done lived on the back road for 15 years. Nah, they ain't. Nah. But if you have influence, you have something special about you, you have something that the devil is afraid of, they will definitely go out. These forces would definitely go out their way for you. So that's what you have to understand. It's not everybody that's hollering this, but it is real. Just like crime. You got some people that holler, "Oh, I've been raped," and they haven't. You have some people that have been raped. There's the evidence. There's the physical evidence and everything. They got the footage, they got the video, they got the audio, they got all the evidence, and it is actually a fact. They can prosecute and everything. You understand? So don't, with the gang stalking, don't look at it like, oh, and no one could be, this is crazy. No, they're doing this to somebody. They're doing this to certain people. This crime is being done to certain people, just like any other crime is being done to certain people. You understand? So when somebody say, let me go back to the rape thing. Somebody say, well, I've been raped. Okay, what's the first thing people gonna ask you? Okay, well, they're gonna ask you actual situations. They're gonna ask you how, when, where. They're gonna ask you actual situation, things that happen. Okay, there's people that have no evidence. They have nothing to show you of why they feel this way. But it gets tricky because sometimes, even with gang stalking, sometimes you won't have evidence. You won't have concrete evidence of that. And that's the part of the game. You know what I'm saying? You got to know, with me in my situation, you got to know who to talk to and who to pray with so that you can get this defeated. Because that's the intention. We're not going to play with it. We're not going to ask for, we're not going to play with these people. We're not going to ask for these people to just have a good day. You know, when you play games like this, especially with pedophilia or something like that, and you put that on somebody's name and you think it's funny, God's going to destroy the whole community. I mean, I can show you in the Bible where more happened for less than that. Look at the prophet Elisha. The prophet Elisha only had children call him a bald head. That's all they did. That's all they did. And they were killed. And if a prophet did that today in America, the government and everyone will want that person destroyed. But yet everyone claims to be Christians. Everyone claims to believe in the Lord and love the Lord. But you don't really know the nature of God. You don't really agree with the nature of God. Not on everything. Not on sexuality. Not on all that. You know, I know nobody's perfect and all that. But even in your struggle, even in my struggles of whatever I've done, I've kept it honest about what God says about these things. Besides my own struggles. Okay? We can't make God go along with our struggles. So America does not agree with what God agrees with. They're not against what God is against. So you can't really, when it comes to being a Christian, you can't really get America to understand where you're coming from. Like I said, Elijah, he cursed the kids, and the kids were killed. If a prophet did that in these days and times, literally cursed kids, right? And some gangbanger or something weird happened where all the kids were slaughtered in front of everybody and people had footage of it and it looked like the man did that here in America, they would want that person destroyed. But this is what your Bible tells you. So who you mad at? I mean, who you really mad at? Me or the Bible? Me or God? Because that's the same God I serve. That's the same God you talking about, you acknowledge. Okay? Yeah. He's not some Ronald McDonald guy. That's who you painted him out to be. You painted out Jesus to be a cartoon. He's not a cartoon. He does not play any games. Okay? That's what you gotta understand. Now, you can either like it or love it. You can either love it or like it. You can't do nothing about it. Okay? That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to understand, people don't share that same mentality with you. You know, when it comes to your seriousness with children and how I feel like children should be put in their proper place. Period. Children shouldn't be jumping all up in those grown people's face they don't know. That's how stuff gets started in the first place. That's how stuff gets started in the first place. Why are children among adults in American society? Just there. They just there. That don't even make sense to me. This is how they learn stuff they shouldn't be learning. Learn words they shouldn't be learning. Learn everything that they should not be doing at a young age. They learn it from adults. And so the first rule is children shouldn't even be in no adult's face in the first place. That's why I carry myself the way I do. I'm all about adult life. Power to people that have services to children and things like that. But we're not all doing that. And it would be a silly thing for me to walk around like I am. That would be silly. I live an adult life. And nothing is wrong with that. Okay? So I don't have to walk around like, oh, I'm going to pop out as Ronald McDonald anytime the kids come around. That doesn't even make sense. This is the mentality how people act. And so when you don't act like Ronald McDonald around certain kids, people get offended if you don't acknowledge their kids. And so you could be gang stalked just because someone looked at you not acknowledging their kids, or just walking by their kids, or acting like you really didn't see their kids. They could take offense to that and watch you, and then see that you don't really interact with kids and label you a weirdo. Yeah. So you could be getting labeled as a pedophile just because you don't, seems like an oxymoron, because you don't even deal with children. Who does that? Who thinks like that? Because you don't deal with children, you're labeled as a pedophile? Nah, because from my understanding, pedophiles run to the fire. They don't run away from children. As a matter of fact, they take jobs over children. They go this far. Yeah, because people that's been pedophiles in, let's say as far as teachers, they didn't just pop up and be a pedophile all of a sudden. Let's keep it 100. They got the job and all of a sudden they became a pedophile? These teachers I'm talking about, they got caught, women and men, because women can be pedophiles too. Women can hide behind their beauty, their looks, their makeup, and men are so dumb, like a dumb dog. You don't even look for it. Police too. As soon as you see a woman with a nice shape, you don't even consider her no type of suspect at all, unless you're gay. And then now you might be looking at her. But the average guy, once a woman is beautiful, you don't know you're not even suspecting that she's a pedophile. That's how stupid the men are in America. Yeah, this is how stupid they are. So you got men and women that take jobs as teachers. They go out their way. I mean, this pedophilia stuff is like a career for these people. I'm just keeping it 100. It's just like a career for these people. They go and put themselves in those situations where they're training your children. So the ones that you don't suspect is the ones that's really doing it. The ones that's in the children fields. The soccer coaches, all these teachers and all this stuff, they're right there in the face of children. This is how it's been going in America. I can't speak for I can't speak for Europe. I can't speak for any place, Africa. I can't speak for these other places where it happened. Here in America, for the most bulk part of true pedophilia, I mean people that are chronic with it, that really are the top of this. I'm not talking about the weirdo that goes to Target. I'm talking about people that put it in their mind day in, day out, and put themselves among children. I'm talking about them. They go and do jobs to be around children. Yeah, I'm letting you know how far this goes. And while you thinking it's just people that have fleeting thoughts of doing this, there are people out there that have made a career. They put their career in the face of children. Yeah. Go do your research. All these people that been doing this stuff, they put themselves in the way of children. So if you have somebody that's avoiding children, it's no way you should be thinking that person's a pedophile. You are stupid. You're not thinking. You're just a stupid person. Because I'm just keeping it real. Hey, I'm just keeping it 100. You are a stupid person to me because literally nothing is happening with a person that's actually avoiding children, first of all. It takes for a person to be a pedophile, it takes them to interact and to have activities worthy of them being called that. If you don't have any activities, you don't have them looking suspicious, then you shouldn't be labeling them that. You don't have the right to. You are not God. You are not anybody really. In fact, most Americans are not even high quality people anymore. Let's keep it real. With all these Americans killing their kids all the time, winding up on the news, and police raping here in New York. Less than 5 years ago, 2 cops was raping this 15-year-old girl. For more than a couple years, they were having sex with this underage girl, and they considered it, statutory rape. I guess that's the term. Yeah, these are the people that supposed to be serving them. But you see how they in their face? You see how the pedophiles do? They're in the face of the girl in the first place. That's how it even happened. So when you find somebody that's not in the face of children, they avoid children, you have no right whatsoever to label them as a pedophile. Because literally, they're not doing anything worthy of that title. Now, if you have somebody just like a crack addict, there's no way you can call somebody a crack addict unless you see them at the dope house. Then you can say, okay, that person might be a crack addict. They always around that crack house down the street. They always around that dope house. Every time I see them, they talking to the dope man. Now, how in the world they don't do dope? We see them at the dope house, sitting on the porch of the dope house, and he talking to the dope man. He or she is talking to the dope man. Yeah, now that would alarm people. But if you don't see a person like for pedophile for pedophile accusations, you don't see a person in no school zones, lingering in any school zones. You don't see them around any public parks. You don't see them in any department stores doing anything abnormal. Then you are not worthy. You don't have a right to call them a pedophile. You're in danger. You're in trouble. You're in serious trouble of putting something that serious on a person that you have not seen questionable things happen concerning. You don't get to just walk away when you do something like that. That's what people got. That's what people that have been through it got to understand. They ain't gonna just walk away. That's too serious. That's too serious. Because if they had got caught or they had been accused to the wrong group of people, they could have been killed. Yeah. And they ain't done nothing. You ain't seen them nowhere questionable. Nah, that's retarded. Nah. That's playing too much. That's playing too much with somebody's life. That's how I see it. I don't care who it is. That's playing too much. You ain't that bad. You ain't that important. Neither is any children. To where you start blaming innocent people. Ain't no child that important. I don't care who it is. It could be the child of the Pope. It could be the child of royalty. No innocent person that hasn't been seen among them that deserves to be accused. Nobody's that important. We got to bring y'all back down to the real world. None of these children are that important to where innocent people, they are only humans, first of all. Let's keep a sober mind here. Children are humans. They grow up just like me and you. Okay? Let's keep a sober mind here. People are drunken with children for some reason. That's what's suspect to me. You're very drunken when it comes to the mentality towards children. You're very drunken. Okay? So if they haven't been seen around children doing nothing, then your children are not your children ain't that important for them to be considered accused of doing something. I don't care how you see it. I don't care what you think you saw. I don't care how seasoned or skilled you are. If you don't have any evidence, any actual tangible things they've done, you got to kick rocks. All right, let me come back with part 3.